Now, 5 years ago, I was 40 years old and I was feeling like a total mug. Everyone says you're supposed to have it all sorted by then. But me, no. You see, the world was in lockdown. I had just slugged my guts out to finish a PhD. And for what? No emergency fund, no investments, absolutely nothing. And I know I'm not the only one because I'm sure some of you watching this, well, you're in your 40s too, maybe in your 50s, slugging it out year after year. And now you're staring down retirement like it's some kind of cosmic joke, asking, how the hell did I end up here? Fast forward to 5 years, and it's a different story now. I have a home, I've got an emergency fund, and my money is finally working for me instead of vanishing into a black hole. Do you want to know how I flipped it around? I'm going to share my 7 no BS recommendations that actually move the needle for me. Plus, a free tool that will help you see just how much you could have waiting for you in retirement. But before I tell you how I got here, well, you need to understand just how bad it was. Look, this wasn't some Hollywood moment with the heavens opening up and me suddenly seeing the light. Nah. It was slow. You see, I remember one morning logging into my banking app, not to check my savings because, let's be honest, what savings? But to make sure that I hadn't dipped back into the red again. You see, everywhere I looked, it was the same smog mantra. You know the ones. Invest in your 20s, you bloody idiot. Compound bloody interest. Yeah. Cheers, Captain Hindsight. You can shove it. And I remember thinking, well, great, so I'm already screwed, right? The race was run, the stadium was empty, and it was like I was the loser who showed up late. I'd always hear of these folks who started in their 20s, practically sipping cocktails by the time they were 55 at the beach. While me at 40, well, retirement was just a sick, twisted joke. I couldn't even bloody picture it, let alone plan the damn thing. And the shame, oh, it was always there, heavy as hell. Not because I wasn't working my ass off, but because financially I had sweet bugger all to show for it. And that sense of being behind kind of created an urgency that I'd probably never felt before. Everyone yaps on about your 20s being the golden ticket. Well, great. I couldn't rewind the bloody clock, could I? All I had was now and a crap ton of regret. And quietly in the background of all that fear, something else started to take root. It was the thought that maybe this wasn't the end of the road for me. Alright, let's get one thing straight. It is not too bloody late. 40, 45, even 55, you haven't completely blown it. Sure, you might not have the, head start that a 20-something-year-old has, but you've got something else powerful. What you have is hard-won experience and the drive to start now. I get it. That pension pot might feel like a gut punch. It makes you wonder if you're doomed to die at your desk, eh? Well, listen up. A 2023 survey by the Pensions and Lifetime Association showed that 1 in 5 working Brits have less than £1,000 stashed for retirement. Yeah, £1,000. Nearly half of those aged 35 to 54 are breaking it about having enough in retirement. So you're not special. You're just part of a massive and terrified club. But here's the thing, knowing that you're not alone won't change your future. What will change it is action. And that starts with defining what retirement actually means for you. Because it's not the same for everyone. For some, retirement means complete financial independence, never working again, traveling, no alarm clocks, and maintaining your lifestyle with absolute ease. While for others, retirement might mean scaling back to, part-time work, maybe living more simply, or just having the freedom to choose how to spend your time. Now, here's the thing. Neither version is wrong, but pretending that you are saving for one while only being able to afford the other is exactly how people end up disillusioned. So, take stock. Be honest. Maybe you won't retire at 55 with millions, but could you build a life where you downshift at 63 and still live comfortably, maybe? Now, once you've defined your goal, you can now walk backwards to figure out exactly what's possible and what you need to adjust. That might mean contributing more aggressively now, or delaying your retirement slightly, or maybe it means tweaking your lifestyle expectations for when you do retire. And to help you with that, I've built a free retirement calculator that you can access using the link in the description box below. You enter your age, you enter when you expect to retire, and you enter how much you think you can save each month. And what it does is it gives you 3 different retirement projections, and each one is based on varying monthly contribution rates. Consider it your fantasy versus reality check. There's also a Google Sheets and a Microsoft Excel version if you prefer to download it. Stop being a clueless ostrich with your head in the sand. You cannot improve what you don't track. You need to know where every single quid is vanishing. And that means tracking your income, your expenses, your debts, and your savings every single month. No guesswork, no estimates. You can start by reviewing your last 1 to 3 months of your bank statements. You then break your spending down into categories, housing, groceries, those zombie subscriptions that you forgot about, entertainment, transports, and so on. You likely spot patterns right away, things that you're paying for but no longer use, small purchases that add up, or areas where you're consistently overspending. Once you've done that, you then build a simple budget. Now, you don't need an app, although there are plenty, out there if you prefer. A basic spreadsheet will do, or a pen and the back of an envelope. Who cares? The goal is simple. You know what's coming in, you know what's going out, and you know where you can create space to either save or to invest your money. Think of this as creating a financial map, because if you don't know where you are, then you won't know what steps to take next or how close you are to your goals. Track your numbers, review them monthly, and then make changes based on what the numbers are telling you. This is the foundation of every smart financial move that comes after. Now, once you know your numbers and you want to actually build wealth, here's your next move. You need to pay yourself first. Yeah, I'm not talking about those treats that you justify, yourself with after a long week. I'm talking about paying you, your future self, before anyone else or any, category of bill gets a slice of your money. You don't wait for what's left over at the end of the month, because let's be honest, there's never anything left at the end of the month. Paying yourself first, flips the script. So how do you pull it off? Well, simple. You pick an amount that you can actually stomach, even if it's just £50. Then you set up an automatic transfer the moment that your paycheck drops, and you shove that cash straight into a savings or an investment account, one that's not your everyday splurge fund. Then as soon as you catch a raise or you kill a debt or you figure out how to spend less, you crank that number up. And if your employer is dangling a pension match in front of you, well, don't be a muppet, max that sucker out. Only a complete idiot leaves free cash on the table. Paying yourself first isn't some cheesy finance hack. It's one of the smartest things that you can actually do. So do it. No excuses. Here's the thing, guys. High interest debt is one of the biggest threats to your financial future. And if you're serious about building wealth in your 40s or beyond, it needs to go. Credit card debt, payday loans, store cards, these often come with interest rates of 20% or more. Meanwhile, your investments might be earning 6 to 8% annually. You don't need a maths degree to see the problem. You're paying 20% to borrow and barely making a dent with your investments. You're basically not treading water at this point. You're sinking, mate. So here's the shift. Stop normalizing this crap and start treating it like the financial emergency that it is. And here's how you deal with it. You list every debt, balance, interest rate, and minimum payment. Use the avalanche method, so you pay off the highest interest debt first while you make the minimum payments on all the rest. Or you use the snowball method, which is where you start with the smallest balance, and that will help you to build momentum. Now, whichever method that you use, you need to stay focused, because for every pound that you no longer pay in interest, that is a pound that can actually help to start to build your future. Consistency beats intensity. And the best way to stay consistent with your finances is to build a system that runs on autopilot. So start by automating your money. Set up automatic transfers to savings and investments the day you get paid. Automate your bill payments to avoid late fees and missed deadlines. This is not about willpower, because that flimsy crap runs out when you're tired or you're tempted. This is about making progress happen whether you feel like it or not. Now, to make that system work, you need a framework. Now, one of the simplest is the 50-30-20 rule. So 50% of your income for needs, 30% for wants, 20% for savings, investments, or debt. But this is just a guide, and it's not gospel. So if you live somewhere expensive, for example, anywhere near the M25, maybe your split looks more like 70-20 and 10. The point isn't the exact numbers. It's about giving every pound a purpose. And then as your situation changes, maybe you have more income, you have less debt, or you have new goals, you revisit the system. You ask yourself, can I save more? Maybe can I invest more? Adjust the percentages as you grow, and be intentional about upgrading your future, not just your lifestyle. Your system should evolve with you, but the foundation stays the same. Automate it, review it, and make sure it works in your favor. Now, this one is quite important. You see, money isn't just numbers. It's deeply influenced by the people around you. So do you have friends who are always spending large, or do you have a partner who avoids financial conversations? Well then, mate, you're swimming bloody upstream against very strong currents, as your environment is designed to drag you down into the red. So take a moment to ask yourself, do the people nearest to me support my financial goals, or are they trying to sabotage them? Can I talk openly about money with my partner? Are my friendships built on shared values, or are they built on spending habits? Now, this doesn't mean that you should start cutting people off. It means growing a pair and setting some boundaries. It also means having those awkward as hell conversations, and surrounding yourselves with the people who understand exactly what you're trying to build. Now, if your crew are overspending, avoiding money talk, or living paycheck to paycheck, chances are that without you realizing it, you will start doing exactly the same thing. So take a moment and really assess your environment. Does it support your growth, or is it quietly pulling you back? The people that you choose to share your life with, they are parts of the plan, or they are part of the problem. Now, if you're employed, one of the easiest wins in retirement planning is your workplace pension. Most employers will offer to match a portion of your pension contributions, and if you're not contributing enough to grab every last penny of that full match, then you are quite frankly an absolute idiot leaving free money on the table. Don't be that idiot. Think of it like this. You put in 5%, your employer puts in 5%. That's 100% return instantly. Try finding that in any other investment. So at the very least, contribute enough to get the full match. Now, if you're self-employed or you want extra flexibility, consider opening a SIP, which is a self-invested personal pension. You see, with a SIP, you get to choose your own investments. You also get tax relief. So, for example, for basic rate taxpayers, up to 20% is given. Your money grows tax-free until you can access it from age 55, and this is rising to age 57 by 2028. It's a powerful tool to help you top up your retirement savings, or to help build something separate from your main pension. Now, whatever your situation, make sure that you are making the most of what's available. Bottom line, if you're in your 40s or 50s, every pound that you can tuck away into a pension, especially one that comes with free money or tax relief, is a pound buying you freedom later. Don't screw this one up. So, 5 years ago, I was 40 with no savings, no investment, no plan. Just stress and a nagging sense that I had missed the boat. But I started anyway, and that 40-year-old version of me, let's call him past me. I owe him everything for starting. Now, I didn't wait until I had it all figured out. I didn't wait until I felt ready, because truthfully, I never really did. What I did was start. One habit, one decision, one small step at a time. And that's what I'm encouraging you to do now. And if you're not sure where to start, well, start with getting your head out of the sand and getting some clarity. You can use the calculator that I mentioned earlier. The link to view or download it is in the description box below. And also, you can watch some of my other videos to help you on your savings journey.